Oh. Hello and welcome to a rather wet and windy and dull, overcast and miserable morning here in Manchester. I think it's pretty much the same everywhere today in the UK. It's been quite a blustery weekend. My wife went off up to Bury yesterday shopping. She said there was people being blown all over the place and hanging onto lampposts and all sorts. So yeah, doesn't seem as though it's been a very good weekend. But for us cave dwellers, it doesn't really make any difference, does it really? So I've just been sitting in all weekend. Well, that's not quite true. I did have to venture out on Saturday, and we went to, where did we go? I can't even remember where we went. I can't remember where we went, to be honest. Did we go to Bury or Manchester? I don't know. Anyway, so there you go. That's my life, my head. I just can't remember these things. So, right, Black Powder Challenge. It's still going on apace. This week, I think, marks the official start of the Warlord Painting competition. Now, you'll have to watch out for a video from Miniature Maniacs on that. That's Steve. He's the Warlord aficionado, sort of portion of the whole event. So I'm sure he's going to be putting out some announcement this week about what you have to do in relationship to the Warlord painting competition. That's where you have to paint a Warlord miniature or Warlord product, and you get judged by Warlord. Very serious. Do you know it's the serious voice I put on there? So there you go. Everything else is still the same. Just taking part and posting on My Wargaming Life in the group gets you entered into the Calpe, Bacchus, front rank and the other Warlord prize, but you'll still, if you go and look at the Black Powder group in the about, it tells you all about it there. Alright, so go and have a look at that. But well done Athlif for finally getting off and getting involved with these. He's doing a diorama with Napoleon and some wounded. It's a very nice subject. Well, it's a very poignant subject that he's creating. So go and have a look at Athlif's doings. I'll put a link in. And also, Von Kennedy finished his what's his name's? His 95th. They look very nice too, all 6 of them. I think you should do the rest of them as well, but that's an ongoing saga. There's lots of other stuff going on. It's all on My Wargaming Life, and so if you just go and have a look in the Black Powder group, you'll see it there. Okay, right then, next bit. Last week, okay, I've just realised what I've done, right, and I can see the battery marker going down on the camera. Bear with. That's better. We have power. Alright, so I was just getting a bit concerned. I just suddenly saw the battery marker jump down to almost 0. I thought, oh, right then. Okay, questions. Last week, as you remember, I was talking about getting some questions from the comments and starting that section again. And as long as it stays good and wholesome and hobby related, we'll carry on doing it. Right then, so here we go. Right, I'll read them through. I have read them through, so I've got some idea what I'm going to say, but I haven't really thought about them, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm like? It's all off the cuff. So here we are. Right then. Magwis Tomahawk asked the question about, when I do my French, where do you think you will get them from? Front rank, Calpe, Victrix or Perry? To be honest, I don't know. I've got some Victrix French, but having seen Mr. Super Chippy's recent sort of, I talked to Super Chippy on Skype, you see, and I've got the insider knowledge on his Victrix French that he's doing, and he's not an happy chappy, but I have got them. I would probably have a look at front rank. I like front rank miniatures. I haven't seen any front rank French apart from their 7 Years War stuff. But if they're anything like that, they'll just be brilliant. So the reason I like front rank is they're nice, big, chunky miniatures. They've got good detail, and they have very, very wide surfaces for paint, and they're not fussy. I'll probably use some Perrys, but the Perrys will probably be more of the command unit type things, because they have some interesting little vignettes that you can put together. And I will have a look at Calpe's French, but I don't really know much about their French either, so I haven't really looked into it, to be honest. But I presume it will be a mix of Calpe, Front Rank, and Perry. I'm sure there are other manufacturers out there, and the only reason I'm not using them is ignorance. You tend to only use the things that you know of, and that's one of the reasons why I like going out and trying to discover new things, and sort of enlighten the world to new things. But if anybody has any suggestions, please feel free to let me know. Okay, right then, British Legion. This is going to be a real bummer, isn't it? Hey, British Legion asking a question. Let's look if he can remember his name. Right then, Cool Musings. My question: do you think miniature board games are starting to become more popular than general tabletop games? Now, for British Legion, that's a pretty good question, isn't it? Hey, you've got to admit, it's a pretty good question. I don't know. I don't play board games as such. I mean, I've got this Journey Wrath of Demons and Space Hulk. Those are the only board games that I've got at the moment. I did used to have Warhammer Quest, but I sold that. But I don't know whether they're becoming more popular than tabletop wargaming. I think they're becoming more prolific over recent years. With the you see loads of Kickstarters of board games and stuff. I just think becoming. I think what the internet does is it amplifies things. I think things have always been going on at the same pace. It's just the fact that the digital world now, we're swamped with so much information. Those that shout the loudest get heard, and it makes it seem as though some things are starting to happen a lot more. But I don't think that's particularly true. I do think that the board games, these miniature board games now, are becoming of age, as it were. I mean, the 2014 edition of Space Hulk is incredible. The miniature, the sculpting in that, and the Journey Wrath of Demons, the miniatures in that are absolutely superb. I mean, the words just can't describe how good they are. And that's the thing, you see, rather than putting the effort just to the game, they seem to be putting the effort into all the portions of the game. Do you know what I mean? Like the boards and Journey are brilliant, cards are brilliant, the miniatures are brilliant, the rules are pretty good. But do you know what I mean? It's more I think the effort is being put into all aspects of it, and they're becoming really nice. But I don't think, as you suggest, they're becoming more popular than tabletop games. I think they always have been popular, but I can't see any evidence for making them more popular or less popular. I don't know, but I just think they've come of age, and they are looking a lot better, and there's a lot more thought going into them. Although there seems to be a lot of them. Do you know what I mean? Right then, the Diomede F-16. He would like to know more about the Yerp campaign and the current state of play. Well, Yerp, I don't know if any of you know what Yerp is, or YARP. It's the campaign world that I've been building for the last 2 years. It's ongoing, Ian. The thing is, it's a summer project, to be honest. It's what I do from basically the end of May through to the beginning of August, through to the beginning of September, when everybody's at home and it's school holidays and all that sort of stuff. I tend to tinker, but it's getting there. Do you know what I mean? I've got the what's the name? The generating formulas all sorted out now, so now I can generate hexes quite nicely, so I can build the economy and build the army and all that sort of stuff for individual hex. which means that the countries can be created a lot quicker now. But more of that next year when I do my next Europe stuff. But I will actually, I might stick some Europe stuff in after Christmas, because I do like Europe. It's it's good fun, and the 6mm armies are taking shape for it. That's what the 6mm is for. It's basically all for that sort of stuff. And I've designed the counters for the troop types and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's coming along nicely. Where are we now? MGH 1736. What's that? MGH 1736. Now I assume that's got something to do with the 18th century, but I can't think what it means. So yeah, enlighten me, MGH. A bit before my time, or a bit after my time. Do you know what I mean? It depends whether I'm talking about ancients or whether I'm talking about 19th century. My question is, do you feel that mixing different makers of sculpts can enhance the look of a unit? We're all different sizes and shape. Well, yes. I mean, you saw the stuff that I did the other day with these Prussians, yeah? Now that's Perry and Warlord in there. And I think with certain things you can. It does make them look good. I mean, von Kettringham's Normans and Vikings and stuff, they're a mixture of Gripping Beast and Warlord and all sorts of stuff, I think. And they look good together. However, where's one of me Calpe figures? This Calpe figure here, I couldn't mix into that battle line. It would look stupid. And the reason is because yes, we are all different sizes and stuff, but sometimes I think that the proportions of the sculpts would look a bit odd. I mean, I use in my Warhammer army, I've got all sorts of stuff. Do you know what I mean? But I did get some. I remember where are they at? This chap here, in fact. There's a video about him, but he's a Landsnet gunner, right? And on his own, he looks superb. I'm just trying to think where I got him from. I'll have to have a think. I'll put an overlay on when I know where I can remember where I got it from. But the problem is when you actually put him into a line with normal troops, Empire troops, it becomes massive. You see? And he's well over the top. So there you go. Hang on a second. I've got Super Chippy trying to Skype me. He's gone. Right. So yeah, I think that, you know, whilst you can get away with it, and we are different sizes, you have to be a bit careful, don't you? Because sometimes the miniatures, the actual proportions of the miniatures might be out as well. So you have some, like, say you've got loads of Foundry in there, which are like quite small, 25mm sort of figures, and then you've got stick some I don't know, Calpe in there, which are quite big 28s. The disparity, not only the bulk of the figure, but and the height and all that, it can look a bit odd. But I take your point. You know, we are all different. We are all different sizes and stuff. And I do think that that it would be nice to have some different sizes, but in the same scale. I don't know if that makes. I don't know whether you understand what I mean there. But if you've got a sculptor and he's making it a scale at 28mm, he can make a short 28mm in his scale, in his style, a tall one, a fat one, a thin one, and then you could probably have a mix and it would look fine. But I understand what you mean there. But the problem with that is though that there's not enough. Do you know what I mean? You have to sculpt an extra green and create a new mould, and I think people, they don't think like that, do they? They all think very commercially and try to do everything as minimum amount of effort for as maximum amount of profit. So yeah, but I do actually take your point there. It probably would look quite good. Right then, next we have War Tiger. Now War Tiger, he says that he has an interest in getting into the 30 Years' War Gasp, yes, historical. In particular, the era from 1630 when Sweden got involved. That's because he's from Sweden. Can you give some tips on what rules miniatures, 20mm and up preferably, and background to uniform guides, if there are any, so I can get started on it? Well, War Tiger, unfortunately, I know as much about the 30-year war as this USB Penguin memory stick does. It's not something that I know about. From the point of rules, looking at the rules, the period at 1630, it looks like, you know, you'd be probably in the trade they call this a jump edit, but if you better looking at Warlord's Pike and Shot. In the original video, I said because I got black powder on the brain, I said black powder, but no, Pike and Shot covers that period, so I'd have a look at that. Anyway, now I'll edit myself back into my my boring monologue. If there are any more specific rules, I have no idea, but if people do know, then let me know, or go over to War Tiger and let him know. I'll put a link into War Tiger down below so you can go and give him some help. As for miniatures, I think I definitely know Front Rank do that period. I don't know whether they do your particular forces, but they do that period. And Footsore, there used to be Musketeer miniatures, they do a range from that period as well. But other than that, I can't really help you. I don't know. See? So it would be interesting to find out though, wouldn't it? Because I do actually like that sort of period. You know, I got lots of Swiss from that period, but I use them in my Warhammer army. I don't use them for what they're supposed to be used for. But you know, yeah, that's the only advice I can give you there. So if anybody does know, put a link in below, or tell us something, or just whatever, or go over to War Tiger's channel and message him, because I'm sure he'd be much appreciated all that. Right, and Kiblams says, have you considered doing a live show? Momentarily, for a couple of seconds, yes, and then I thought no. I don't think I'm not interested enough to do a live show, to be honest. I've been on live shows. I've been on a couple of live shows, and they're alright. It's just that it's not my cup of tea. Do you know what I mean? I think I bore you enough in my 20-minute videos. Like this one's going to turn out to be, God knows what I could do for hours upon hours upon hours. So there you go. No, I'm not going to do any live shows. Not on this channel. I'll be on live shows occasionally, but not on. I'm not doing any on this channel. Peter is it Magro? Yeah, Peter Magro. Any hope those Prussians march off to the front next year for a little skirmish or attempt at world conquest or something? No. The 6mm Prussians that I'm doing are for my Europe campaign, and they're not actually Prussians in my Europe campaign. I've got Russians to do, I've got British, I've got French, and they're all basically going to be part of my made-up nations for Europe. That's what the 6mm are for in reality. The 28mm Prussians, well, at the moment I've managed this year, I've done, because you have to bear in mind I got a couple of battalions of British done as well, and if you really do remember, you remember I did some Württembergers and all. So this year I've done 6 battalions of figures, some artillery, and a lot of other messing about. So I've only actually got, by the end of this challenge, I think I'll have 4, maybe 5 battalions of Prussians, which doesn't really help me that much. I haven't done any command groups or anything yet. The plan is to crack on next year and get at least another. Probably, I need to get at least 2 regiments of cavalry done, and I need to get at least probably another 3 or 4 battalions of Prussians done. It's not just painting time; it's the cost. Because, like you say, I use Calpe, for my Prussians. They're not cheap. You know what I mean? You're looking at 45 quid a battalion. And you know, my budget a month is generally 30 quid. So it's like that's 2 months worth of money going into a battalion. So I can only buy a maximum of 6 a year anyway if I wanted to. And there's a pain. But I've got other stuff that I'm doing as well, so I can't really just sit painting. But the Prussians will be going into battle at some point. Yes, they will. Hopefully, I might go down if he'll have me and try out Pancake's table if I can. He did mention it once, so maybe I'll hold him to it. I'll go down to Pancake's shed, and he can wipe the floor with my Prussians. But that won't be anytime soon. So, but I will be doing the French that I need to get done in about a year's time. I'll start doing so as I can play some stuff, because I basically play solo games. I don't really go into meeting people and playing full games like that. I will do, obviously. I've got nothing against it. It's just that I don't know anybody. And that concludes the questions. One thing, yeah, I meant to mention this at the beginning before you all switched off. Ian, the Diomede F16 has just started a new series on child-friendly fantasy rules via Bob, offered at Tabletop Commanders. That's a live chat. I put a link into the video done, but basically it's a set of rules that you can just chuck anything down on the table, and it looks, you know what Ian's like. He tries everything out and he comes up with some good stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's dead cool, and I love Ian to bits. The stuff he does, it's brilliant. But he's done these child-friendly rules. He's doing a video series on Bob off of the Tabletop Commanders fantasy rules, and they're cool. So go and have a look at that. What are we on now? Bloody hell, 24 minutes. Right, I will edit this down a bit so it's not as long as it is, and I'll say goodbye, and I'll catch you next week. Any questions or anything at all that you want me to muse upon, stick it in the comments below, and we'll have a muse upon it next week. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.